Hello, friends. Welcome to Crypto Bulls Club. My name is Soham, and this is your daily Bitcoin analysis. And also, we are going to cover Ethereum today as well. Right, guys? So, if you guys can hear me, if you guys can watch the screen clearly, just let me know by commenting below, and we will get started right away. All right? If you can, guys, can watch the screen, if you guys can hear me clearly, just very quickly, guys, let me know by commenting down below, right? Very quickly, if possible. Yes, Aditya Singh Thakur, welcome. Thank you so much for confirming that. All right, guys. So today we are gonna analyze about certain characteristics of the Bitcoin price movements in the bear market, right? Just when we are starting the bear market, also there is a one particular pattern that I have identified for the Bitcoin price. Also, there is something in the Ethereum price as well, but in a macro time zone, which indicates that possibly we could be in a downtrend. Okay, so very quickly to start off, in the last 24 hours, first of all, the market cap. The market cap in the last 24 hours is down about 3.9%, about 4%. It's down to about $1.75 trillion. Bitcoin has lost about 4.6% in the last 24 hours, currently trading at 36,500. Ethereum has also lost about 6%, down to about below $2,500 once more. BNB is also below $400, has lost about 5.5%, and Cardano is closing in on the $1 market. It's currently at $1.05, and it's down by about 6%. If I have to talk about the top gainers of the day, then in the top 100, Sandbox continues its rise. No wonder, it is one of the my favorite tokens. I have recommended you guys Sandbox as well, and it continues its rise. Theta Fuel also of late has been performing exceedingly well, right? Apart from that, Theta Network is up about 3.5%. SNX network is up about 2.1%. FTX token is up about 1.5%. Filecoin is up about 1%. That's it from the top gainers in the top 100 tokens. If we talk about the top losers, Celsius network, which has lost about a third of its value in the last 7 days, is down more than 12%. Quant is down more than 12%. Phantom is down by 11%. This is interesting. Axie Infinity is down by more than 10%. And we have Waves down by 10.6%. Yesterday, Waves did perform well. It was one of the top gainers. Safe Moon, again, I don't know what's happening with this token. Sometime it's up, sometime it's down about 10%. Thorchen is down more than 9.5% as well, right, guys? So that is the market update. Now let's move on to the Bitcoin price. We'll analyze the Bitcoin patterns first, and then we'll move on to the Ethereum patterns. And as always, we will be taking your questions as well, right? So make sure you share your Q&A questions with us, and if you want us to analyze any particular token, right? So as mentioned, the Bitcoin price is currently at $36,700 approximately. This is the Bitcoin index. If I have to talk about the last 24 hours, then the volume for yesterday was pretty much okay. Again, the Federal Reserve meeting came out. Now there was no instant hike in the interest prices, but there was a confirmation that going into March there will be a definite increment in the interest ranges. However, for some of the other developed economies like the Europe, so they have mentioned, the European Union Bank has mentioned that they are not going to increase the interest rate for the next 1 year, right? Not in 2023, but in 2024. So probably more than couple of years they are not going to increase it. Canada also decided that they are not going to increase it as of now, right? So let's see whether the US, whether the Federal Reserve is going to turn back on its word, and will it provide a stimulus for the complete economy. We will have to wait and watch that, right, guys? So very quickly, let us understand about the Bitcoin price. What are the some of the key levels of support and resistances? For that, first of all, we'll draw the Fibonacci retracement right from this top to this bottom that we had right here. Okay, this is the bottom, and what we can see is we went up straight to the 65% Fibonacci. As you can see right here, we got rejected, my friends. We got rejected at the 65% Fibonacci level. right here, and it is known as the golden pocket, which is extremely important. Earlier this was holding as an excellent support. If you can see this right here, here it was acting as a good support, here it acted as a perfect support as well, and here it acted as a resistance. So now this beautiful support that we had coming into this zone, now it has turned into resistance, and it will be a very very strong resistance, guys. Okay, have no doubt about it that once we are below it, because if you see earlier also back here, from May to July 2021, if you can see this clearly, we were trying to break above this multiple number of times, but we were getting rejected, right? So this is only the first attempt. If and only if we are going to break above this at all in this market cycle, it is going to take some effort and some huge volumes to come into the picture, right? And the sentiment has to move in a great way for us to break through this resistance. This is extremely important. And if I would talk about in general, then the downward trend is continuing. We are making continuous lower highs, as you can see right here. We are making lower highs, and yes, the lower lows as well, right? So this is a continuous downtrend right here, right? So if I just draw a line here, you'll be able to see this very clearly, right? This is, we are actually following, we are coming down like this. So this is not something which is very encouraging, at least for the short term price movement. Okay, now if I would talk about, the RSI on the daily time frame, let's take a look on what the RSI has to offer to us. And the RSI has also been making lower highs, guys, right? If you can see this clearly, it's making lower lows and lower highs, which is again not encouraging. But as we have discussed earlier also, that this is a phenomena which we have noticed at least two times in the past, at least two times in the market cycle. One was back here from January 2021 till about June 2021 or about July 2021, after which we broke out. And again we saw similar phenomena from July till October. Then in October we broke out. This was a mini kind of a pullback that we had seen, and now again we are seeing continuous downward movements. One of the characteristics that we have discussed about these RSI is that before breaking to the upside, it generally tends to make a higher low. For example, we made a higher low right here. If you can see, let me change this color. We made a higher low right here. We made another kind of a double bottom right here, and then moved up. Same was the case here as well. We made a higher low right here before breaking to the upside. So the first hint, right, the first hint for us would be that if we are to break to the upside and break this RSI downward pattern, then a higher low would be important from the daily time frame, from the RSI perspective, right? This is extremely important. If I were to talk about the stochastic RSI, and the momentum in the market, the momentum in the market is up on the daily time frame, but could it come down possibly here once more and then go up? Very very likely, because that would form a double bottom here on the daily time frame for the stochastic RSI. And as we know, double bottoms and double tops are extremely important for any asset class and any tech TA. What's right? This is important. Now there is something that we want to discuss, and this is extremely important pattern that we have seen in the Bitcoin chart, and that is on the weekly time frame, right? What we are going to do is we are going to pull out the moving average ribbon right here. If you guys cannot see, let me change the color. Let me make this green, and let me make this yellow. That should be blue. Yeah. All right, so if you guys can see this clearly, so here what we are going to take is, here we are just going to understand about the uh, the 50 week, okay, the 50 week and the 200 week, which is extremely important. Now this was brought to my notice by a friend, so uh, thank you so much, and I thought that I should definitely bring this to your notice as well, right? So the thing is, basically every time in the previous market cycles, right, whenever Bitcoin has broken below the 50 week, and right, whenever Bitcoin has broken below the 50 week, it has tested the 200 week, right? It has tested the 200 week, and this is absolutely true in every time this has happened. Okay, if you take a look here back in 2014, after making this high of $1,250, we broke then 50 week, and on 11th of August, around mid of August 2014, and we actually tested the 200 week, right? This is what I mean, right? Here we broke, here we broke it, and here we tested it, the 200 week, right? This is significant, right? This is very, very significant. Again, here in 2018, you can see here in June we broke below it after making the $20,000 top. In December 2017, we broke below the 50 week, we went above, we tested it, we got rejected, and we tested the 200 week one more time, right? So, and also this time around as well in March of 2020, right? I agree this was a black swan event, but data tells us that we had broken the 50 week and we tested the 200 week, right? Mind you that my worst case scenario for Bitcoin is the 200 week simple moving average. Okay, this is extremely, extremely crucial, and this is, it's extremely important for the Bitcoin price as well too. If we are able to buy somewhere around the 200 week, history tells us that they have proven to be great buying levels. If we see an extended rally between the 200, at around the 200 week, like how we saw back in 2015, this movement was approximately of about, it was about 270 days, about 8 months before we finally broke above, right? So if we would have ever bought in during these 8 months, right, in middle we went above, but then again we got rejected from a beautiful double bottom, got above, got rejected by the 50 week, right? Every time we get rejected by the 50 week, this is also very, very important, that if we get rejected by the 50 week, then also a test of the 200 week is always, always on the cards. Make no doubt about it, right? Have no doubt about it, right? Here also you see we came down, we went up again, tested the 50 week, got rejected, and came down again. So what does this signify? This signifies that whenever we are going above, we are going and having a rally and trying to break above the 50 week. The 50 week currently is at $48,300, right? Whenever we are going near the 50 week, right? If we blast past it, amazing, nothing like it, absolutely nothing like it. And like how we did here, right? We went above, tested it, treated it as support, and then bounced up. So if we see this kind of a movement, this kind of a price action, then it is extremely healthy for the Bitcoin price. Okay, if we are, let's say, going up like this, if we are going up like this and we are coming down, testing it as a support for a few weeks, and then we can see and a good pump into the Bitcoin price. It can happen this way, right? And if we just, if we just increase this, you will be able to understand this clearly, right? This is basically your yeah, this is what I mean about the 50 week, right? So if we are able to bounce from top of it and jump across, then it would be extremely healthy for the Bitcoin price. However, right, however, if we go up like this and we get rejected multiple times, then my friends, a test of the 200 week is on the cards, right? Is definitely, definitely on the cards. And in that case, in that case, my friends, I will be, possibly booking some of my altcoins. Very few altcoins I have now, most of it I converted into Bitcoin. Whatever few altcoins I have, I will possibly convert them into USDT, into a stable coin, and some portion of my Bitcoin as well. Like for example, if I have, uh, let's say I have one Bitcoin. In that case, I will actually convert at least 25%, 0.25 of the Bitcoin at these levels, right? If we see that we are getting rejected, I am going to book my profits because, and at least a 25% of the profits, because that would be a certainty, at least from my side, at least from TF's perspective, that Bitcoin will now head down to the 20 week, and it may happen somewhere during May, June, July, second quarter of 2022 or third quarter of 2022 as well. Now, here is another important thing that we can understand and we can analyze here is basically how much time does it take for the Bitcoin price to, once it gets rejected at the 50 week, and then how much time does it take to basically reach your 200 week. Let's analyze that as well. This is important for us, and this can give us some indication about what we can expect from the in the going into the future, right? So let's get rid of these drawings that we have, and right. Okay, let me. So basically, let's do a quick measurement right here. Okay, let's take a quick measurement, and we, for the first time, we are going to analyze from here, from the time it took, with the time we first broke below the 200, the 50 week, rather the week that we broke below the 50 week. So back here in 2018, it was the 21st of May 2018 that we broke below, and this took us about uh, a this took us about 30 bars. Okay, this took us about 30 bars, or about 210 days. So that is approximately 7 months, right? Now, if we look further to the left, what we can see and understand here is, back in 2014, how much time did it take? Mind you, the market cap is something that is extremely important to note. Why? Because of the simple fact that you know uh, Bitcoin has been gaining market cap. It has been getting larger by every day, every year, every market cycle for that matter, right? How much time did it take us back here from the week we broke below? It took us about 22 bars, right? So it took us about 22 bars here, and here it took us about 30 weeks, right? 30 and 22. So that means an increase of 8 bars, right? If I have to understand that. So what does it comes to? It comes to about 35-36% more, approximately, right? Here it's about 35% more. Let's assume it takes us about the same time, about 35% more time than this one. Then here it took us about 210 days, right? So if I have to just increase it by let's say 35%, it would be around 283 days, right? Or basically, what I mean is, it would take us about 40 to 41 weeks for the Bitcoin price from here to come down to the 200 week number, right? And this is calculated based on the historical data. Mind you, this is very, very dubious kind of a speculation that we are doing right here, and this might actually give us some hint. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to take 40-41 weeks, but if it does, then what could be the scenario, right? Let's take 40 weeks from the time it broke below. So we broke below the 50 week on 27th of December, right? And if we just increase it to about 40 weeks, right? 40-41 weeks, it puts us on October 2022, right? October 2022. So keep this in mind. And where could be the 200 week during October? It is important to understand, right? Where that October, the 200 week could be lying. Let's have this indicator which we have, which tells us, which gives us the understanding. So in October, approximately, right, we have this indicator right here. We plotted it for your understanding, and you can see right here in October, as I've mentioned earlier also, the Bitcoin price would be, the 200 week, mind you, would be around the $25,000 mark. Now, I have told this repeated number of times that I personally believe $25,000 is 25, anywhere between 25 to $20,000 is where Bitcoin is going to bottom out. I don't think so. We are going to hold the 20p. Mind you, that we are not going to hold the $30,000. Pardon me. And I have told this multiple number of times. And from this speculation, we come to note that around the first week or the second week of October is when, if Bitcoin gets rejected, mind you, there is a there's a if condition right here, that only if Bitcoin gets rejected at the 50-week, right? And we have taken this 36% increment, and what we saw right here, okay, what we saw right here from this, from these, from the market cycle back here in 2014 to the 2017 market cycle, it took us 36% more time, 35% more time. Here we have taken the same calculation, we have increased this calculation by 35%, and we have come to about 40-41 weeks, and 40-41 weeks from the time it broke below comes to about October 2022, right? I may be absolutely wrong about it as well, guys, right? We may see just Bitcoin blast past the 50-week. That would be absolutely amazing, because again, I hold a majority of my portfolio into crypto, and crypto is something that I have possibly dedicated my life towards, and I want to see the Bitcoin price go higher and higher. But here it is important for us to understand and be rational in our thought process, right? What has it done in the past? That is the only intention of TA, of technical analysis, right? So if, guys, if we are getting rejected at the 50-week, now when will we test the 50-week? That I cannot say right now. Okay, the 50-week currently is at $48,000, and it is coming down slowly. It is coming down. It might be the case that test we test the 50-week at around the $40,000 level back in May or in April, right, when it comes down to about $40,000. Now this is a trend that we have seen. This indicator tells us where these things could actually be heading on to, right? And this is extremely important. This is extremely important from the Bitcoin side of things, and uh, this could actually prove to be a cheat code uh, for you for the next market cycle. Because mind you, if you are buying at the 200-week, that is the best time you can buy, right? That is the best time you can buy Bitcoin. Absolutely, very crucial, right? So if you have any questions around this, feel free to share them on the chat. We will take them as well, guys. Okay, now if I will talk about the stochastic RSI on the weekly, then the weekly stochastic RSI is down. It's at about 2, so not much room to go to the down. Either it can move sideways or it can move to up. That is important to note here as well, right, guys? Okay, now let's take a quick look on the recent times, right? Today, tomorrow, how the exchange balances have been flowing from the exchanges, right? How Bitcoin has been flowing through the exchanges. This is again from coinglass.com. Big shout out to them as well. And if you see Bitcoin balances on exchanges, right? Mind you, Coinbase Pro is where most of the whale activity is done. It is not the normal Coinbase. It is not the normal Coinbase. It could be basically your this is for the high net worth individuals, right? This is important to understand. What we are seeing right here is in the last 24 hours, my friends, last 24 hours, 80 Bitcoin have moved out of the Coinbase Pro exchange, right? If I will talk about the last 30 days, 10,000 Bitcoins have moved out, right? This is one of the reasons why I'm not selling my Bitcoins, right? Because if we are selling them, we are selling them directly into the hands of the whales, which I don't want at this point. Because I am a believer in Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin can easily reach a $500,000 in about the next market cycle, or possibly the in another, it can reach $1 million in about 10 years from now, like a decade from now. And that would be actually very good price. I know that would be a great price for people who are buying today. Let's say at $40,000, $50,000, that would be 20x of your money in let's say 10 years time, right? That is absolutely a big reason why I'm not selling any of my Bitcoin. Okay, now if I were to talk about the net flow, right, this is the total. If you can see right here, the net, there was an increase. That means a lot of Bitcoin has flowed into the exchange, which is crucial, and the last 30 days is important. Again, last 30 days, 41,000 Bitcoin have moved out of the exchanges, which tells us that again that the whales are buying, my friends. The whales are definitely buying more and more. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Ethereum now. And on Ethereum chart, we want to notice the monthly time frame, right? We have analyzed the short-term time frames as well, but let's analyze the monthly time frames here, and let's try to understand what exactly is the pattern that we have seen earlier in the bear market and now. So on the RSI, what we are seeing is a similar kind of a movement which we saw at the beginning of the bear market last time around as well, right? What does that indicate? Look at this double bottom it had made, went up, this was a lower low, and then we went straight down and we consolidated for about close to 3 years. Okay, close to 3 years we were in this downward trading pattern. If we look at the present day right here, what we can see from the Ethereum price, we made a beautiful double bottom right here. We went up, this high was lower than this high, it was a lower high. That means this was a bearish divergence on the monthly time frame, right? And we saw a strong pullback on the Ethereum prices, right? Does it do you see the similarity, guys? Do you see the similarities between the previous one and the current one, right? So I personally feel, guys, if this kind of price action, again, mind you, all of this depends on Bitcoin, absolutely, but no altcoin, even Ethereum has not decoupled itself from Bitcoin. But we want to analyze Ethereum separately because Ethereum is the king of all altcoins, right? This is extremely important for the Ethereum, for our traders, because next to Bitcoin, if anything that I strongly recommend to people who are new to crypto, who want to build a you know a a portfolio which has got less risk exposure, then Ethereum is the way to go forward, guys. Okay, this is extremely important. Now if we take a look at, so if you don't understand the bearish divergence right here, look at this. Here the price made a higher high, RSI made a lower high, RSI made a lower high right here, if you can see this. Here in 2021, 2022, here the price made a higher high, if you can see this. Here it was about $4,380. In November we went up to 4868, so it was technically it was a higher high, right? And on the RSI we actually made a lower high, meaning a bearish divergence. And this bearish divergence has actually played out, and we are getting this kind of a movement to the downside. It could very well be the case that we can have this downward movement and then consolidate for a few months and then pump up. It is extremely possible. But what has history told us in the past? Let's see this thing, right? We were in a long bear market for 3 long years. I don't think we are in this for 3 years, because you know uh, I think the market is getting more and more stabilized, more and more capital is flowing into the market. This means that we are definitely going to basically see not clear cut bull market and bear market. This is absolutely very critical to note, right? Now if I talk about, and if I draw the Fibonacci on the monthly time frame, this is extremely crucial, guys, right? Let me draw it 4868, and let me draw it till here, right? This was the low that we made in March of 2020. What we can see right here, guys, okay, I am not saying that Ethereum is going to go all the way down to these levels, right? I'm not saying that. But if Ethereum breaks a body of a monthly candle below $1,900, my friends, then of course crazy Ethereum numbers like $400, or even for that matter, $300 or 350 to $400 Ethereum might be a possibility. Okay, our job here is to tell you the facts in the charts, and that's what exactly what we are doing, right? If we just increase this to the left and keep it in the same level here, you will see that this level has acted as a very, very strong resistance multiple number of times. Why is this? Because this is the golden pocket in the Fibonacci, right? And I am watching this very, very closely, guys, right? If we get a monthly closure below 1900, now this $1,900 has been acting as a strong support, right? All the way since we entered into it in March of 2021, we first broke into it, right? Ever since then, there has been one, two, three, almost three candles which have tested this level, and this acted as a very, very good support level, right? Yes, we had VIX going through to $1,700, but this is a larger time frame. All of these candles indicate 1 month, right? It could be a possibility. I am not saying it is definitely possible. It could be a possibility that if we break this, now it is important to note, only and only if we break a body of a candle below this and treat this as a resistance, only then can we expect the Bitcoin price, sorry, the Ethereum price to come to these levels. Mind you, before that, the 1100 and the $1,100 level will act as a support here as well. You can see it had acted as a good support right here, but only if we break below it, it is a possibility that we go to these levels. My job here is to keep you guys up to date, no matter how crazy the price target may seem, right? When Ethereum went to $1,400 in 2018, no one thought that it would come down to the lows of $80. And my friends, it did come down to $80, right? As you can see, back in December 2018, it did come down to $80, right? So this level is extremely crucial. If we are breaking, again I'm repeating, if the body of a candle closes below 1900 and the monthly time frame, guys, and we are able, and we treat this as a resistance in the next candle, then there could be one candle which could actually, a wick possibly could go down to these levels, right? And if we just pull out the Ethereum log growth curves also, what we can expect to see those kind of price action, right? Basically what you can expect to see is, let's say in, and so we predicted that in October, Bitcoin could bottom out. Let's say around October, where will this keep us, right? Where will this keep us? Here in October, the Bitcoin price. So this log growth curve tells us that it could be very well between, it could very well be at around $800 or $1,000, or even if we go to these levels, which are crazy again. I understand these things. These are crazy levels, but even if we go to these levels, then $400 or $500 Ethereum might be on the cards, right? Now, if let's say a speculative, basically a great news comes out and we bounce off these levels and we just go to, $12,000 over the next few months, I understand people are not going to like this video, right? But our job here is to tell you the facts that are happening in the charts. So, guys, if you have any questions, we will be happy to take it. And yeah, that's the analysis I wanted to share with you guys today as well, right? This is extremely, extremely important. David, my friend, you have mentioned that 21st October. Again, it's not a guarantee, but if and only if we are getting rejected, then only we can expect to see a test of the 200 week, which is possible, right? If we go blasting past the 50 week, if Bitcoin goes blasting past the 50 week, there is no, and treats this as a support like how we treated it back here. If we just go on a rally, then it would be great. Yes, Aditya, you use WazirX, and yeah, tell me, brother, what question you have about converting into altcoins. If you have any questions, we are happy to answer. Otherwise, yeah, we can close it for the day. All right, guys. I don't think so. You guys have any further questions. So thank you so much for tuning in. Stay blessed, stay happy. Share this video with your friends and family. Thank you so much